Hello, my name is Kim, and today I'll be telling you about my father's own immigration journey, mainly focusing on his huaraches. Not the Nike shoes or the food, but the traditional sandals worn by everyone in my family, especially those who crossed the Mexican American border. The sandals that carried my family into a new world, and the sandals that we continue to wear today. My dad doesn't really talk much about his life in Mexico on his own accord, but when he does, he always has something fascinating to say. He reminisces on how Mexico was before the cartels in his area came, how everyone was outside playing on the streets till late. He tells us how he was really good at all the sports in his middle school, and how he was on every sports team, and often got in trouble for getting into fights with players of the opposing team. He would also tell us how my abuela would scold him for getting into trouble, and he would get his own whipping at home. Yet there are fights he knew not to engage in. He didn't fight my grandparents on leaving school to work and to help support the 11-person household that he lived in. And he knew not to engage in any fights with the cartels creeping into his area, especially when they came knocking on the door trying to buy my family's land. But life is unpredictable, so when the cartel had sent death threats to my father and my uncles, they grabbed pictures and documents, clothes and hygiene products, water, and everything that they would need. They put on their huaraches and began the journey to escape the gang violence and poverty in their homeland. In the early 2000s, my dad crossed the southern border around 3 times. The first time it was him and his brothers looking to establish a new life in El Norte. They worked on horse ranches in central North Carolina. He ended up getting detained by immigration officers, but they miraculously let him go. He was already making a life for himself in the United States, gaining valuable work experience and new hobbies like martial arts. He crossed the second and third time to help the rest of his siblings cross and other people from his hometown. As the eldest sibling in the United States, my dad assumed a parental role to his younger siblings, as young as 15 years old. I think it's really funny how my aunts would often introduce their boyfriends to my dad when they were just beginning to date in the US. My dad met my mom in the US and started their family. And in order to provide for his family, my dad started his own landscaping and irrigation business, using the skills and knowledge he gained while working on the ranches. He became a successful business owner, and now he specializes in hardscaping and fencing, with huaraches on his feet. In Mexican culture, kids take off their dad's work boots as a sign of respect. I did so, and my siblings. After taking off his work boots, he would immediately look for his huaraches, and he couldn't relax if he didn't have his huaraches on. Sandals have continued to support my dad in the United States and remind him of Mexico, even though it's been well over 20 years since he's last set foot into Mexico. The huaraches supporting his body remind him of his younger years in Mexico, lindo y querido, a feeling of comfort and a warm familiarity. Even though others may look down on us because we wear sandals associated with poverty in rural Mexico, we will continue to wear huaraches to honor our lineage and my father's sacrifices to provide us with a better life. These